Why are we so afraid of AI? I had a conversation with my wife here recently, and she was talking about she works with computers in her job, and she does financial analytics, and it's definitely a job that you probably have some concerns about it, with AI coming, and having this conversation with her and thinking about it. I don't put a lot of thought into it. It's not something I use a lot. I mean, I've started to use it more recently. It's a pretty awesome tool, really. I mean, if you're researching something and it finds all the information for you pretty quick, much quicker than you can on your own.
Hmm.
And then people have a lot of fears, you know what I mean? And movies and news headlines don't help that, you know what I mean? It feeds to it. They want us to be afraid. I feel like that's feels like their goal with news. I don't know. It just seems to be the way it is. And Terminator, The Matrix, even greater fears than it taking your job, you know what I mean? And with all the deep fakes and people worry about their privacy. I mean, we've given up our privacy. Who we kidding? Our phones are recording us constantly. I mean, you got a cell phone, your privacy is gone, bud. Yeah, that's gone. And we have people have fears that eventually AI is going to take over. You know what I mean? Maybe they decide that the human race is a virus, and to save the planet, we got to get rid of the human race. You know what I mean? And and having this conversation with her and sensing her fears and anxieties about it, it made me think about it. You know what I mean? Actually care about it more than I have up to this point. It's just the internet to me. It's all the same thing. It gives me information when I need it. But if I believe that everything works out for me, and I'm not worried about what's coming, everything works for my good, AI has to work for my good. So I got to thinking about that. How would that look? How would it work for my good? And uh, if my fear is it's going to take my job, I don't know very many people, and I'm not saying there aren't any, but I don't know very many people that love a job, this place that you have to be at 40, sometimes more, 60. Some people work 70 hours a week. It's crazy. My dad did for years. And I can't imagine anybody saying at the end of their life, man, I wish I'd have spent more hours working. You know what I mean? So I mean, if AI is coming for the jobs, why are we afraid of that? You know what I mean? What does that mean if it comes for the jobs? If it starts to take, all these things that we got to spend so much of our time doing, what do we get? Time? Do we get freedom to be, to seek inward, to create, to explore, to discover new species? You know what I mean? To just to be with our families, to be with our friends, to play games, man. We played mud volleyball this weekend, which is you've
Oh,
played
I
this
missed
before.
that. That's
Such a
so
good
fun,
time. I mean, it's a mess. You're covered in mud,
man.
deep into your ears. Like I think I went through 20 Q-tips cleaning this out, but it's terrible how dirty you get. You end up you rinse off there, shower off there in ice cold water. You come home, you take 2 showers to get it off of you. But so much fun being out there with friends and family and just man, just experiencing life together and I got to thinking about that kind of thing. If AI does come for our jobs, good. At least we figured out how we can keep things going and we can just be, and we can I got a guitar collecting dust in the corner of my bedroom that I started to learn how to play and I didn't feel like I had enough time to put into it. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit it down. I'm not done with it. I'm gonna come back to it when I feel like, we're doing this now, and we're I'm studying a lot for this, and I'm trying to read more, and definitely trying to spend more time in meditation and that kind of thing. And I have a job. I
Mhm.
have this place I have to be at 8 hours a day, every day, and everything's got to be planned around that, unless I have vacation or something. If robots are coming to do all the physical labor, well, why is that something to be afraid of? You know what I mean? I get the thought that, well, where's the money come from? I think as humans we can figure that out. Can we not? I mean, there's an unlimited amount of money out there. They're printing it every day, right? I don't know, every day. I didn't research that. I'm probably wrong.
Even though money is
But
fake, but yeah.
they're printing it a lot. Yeah, it's just numbers in a computer, right? And if I believe that I, by divine right, have abundance and wealth, then I don't have to worry about what computers are doing. And do we believe that man can create better than God did? Like it's going to overtake us, the creators of our universe? Like we create reality, and this computer is good. I mean, it beat us at chess. That's awesome. Good job. We didn't stop playing chess. That happened in '97, I think, that a supercomputer beat it, the best chess player in the world. I don't know who the guy was. I should know. I should look this up, but I didn't. But it's just, I think I don't think this fear is something that we should have. And it reminds me of when Jesus was asleep in the boat, and the storm was throwing the boat all day. They all thought they were going to die, and they went and woke him up, and he said, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" Like, what are you afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
You're one with me. You're one with the source. You're one with God. Like, what are you afraid of? You are creators. We have the power of life and death in our tongue. We're worried about some computer program that we created. Why are we afraid of that? I don't know if it's something that you have any concerns about. I know you're big into those kind of movies. It's something that you've thought about or have had concerns about?
Well, my input to this topic is it goes along the lines of we have a gland in our brain called the amygdala. This amygdala is a primary part of your brain. So, like on your brainstem, first is the sense of smell. That's the most important thing, believe it or not. And then on top of that is a primitive brain, and in this primitive brain is the amygdala. The amygdala is responsible for fear. Now, as primates in early, evolution, we needed this gland. It was important because if you heard something in the bush and you didn't have this sense of urgency, then a saber-toothed tiger jumps out at you and you're dead. So this amygdala alerts you to possible danger, and then your awareness becomes heightened, and it's all for preservation. Natural fear is loud sounds. Natural fear is falling. Those are all necessary fears for survival. Now, as we have evolved and we are wired to run in packs, we, one, have intensified our fears, and two, we are afraid of change. So this amygdala always points us towards the negative because it's like, be on guard, be on guard, be on guard. This could happen. Don't do this. Don't do that. Amygdala is trying to save you. It's a primary aspect of your brain. But in order to see the totality of the picture, you have to learn how to overwrite this amygdala. So my thing is this: when back in the days when there was horses, and then a man named Henry Ford invented a car, and everybody was like, nah, man, these horses, man, this is how we do it. This is what we do. And Henry Ford was like, nah, this is going to eliminate horses. One, it didn't eliminate horses because horses are still necessary. And two, instead of taking away from the horses, it created jobs. Then further on down the line, we invent a computer. Before computers, there were people, we had human computers who were doing all the computations and stuff, and they were like, man, this computer, you'll never get it to work, man, it's too big, it's gonna take up all this room, it's stupid. Guess what? The computer came along. Yes, the human computers were not necessarily relative anymore, but they still were needed. And guess what? It created more jobs. Yeah. Then you go along, everything that we fear our amygdala is telling us, be on guard, be weary. But instead of having this fear, understand that even with AI, yes, some things may become obsolete, but it's going to create more things.
Yeah.
So it'll make our life easier, but it also will create needs in other areas. It always runs this way. The fear is not in the AI, the fear is in us. The fear is not in the water, the fear is in us. The fear is not in the airplane, the fear is in us. It's the amygdala spiking, saying, uh-oh, no, I don't want this, but it's preventing you from seeing the totality that this could be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we recently had a conversation about this. You talking about your car driving itself, and I've told you how I'm like, man, I like to be in control of that car. One thing about that, though, as that gets better, and it's only going to get better as they keep improving this.
Just like with the first big old computers.
Yeah,
now we got them in our hands.
AI is not going to have road rage. They're probably going to be communicating with each other. The car is like, I need to get over here to this lane, and it's going to be way smoother. There's not going to be drunk drivers. You know what I mean? I still want to drive because I like to drive. But I mean, we'll get to a point where it's the norm. You know what I mean? And we'll have more time to just be, I feel like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I the more I've thought about this and tried to understand these fears, which I get. I mean, if I were told tomorrow that they did away with machinists, I better figure something out quick, you know what I mean? And anytime you got to make a change like that, it's scary, for sure. See, unknown is scary, you know what I mean? And that's, I get that, but this idea that it's gonna take over the world, or you know what I mean, and destroy the human race, that's why give power to a thought like that? You know what I mean? If ultimately we're creating our realities, we shouldn't give way to that. We shouldn't allow ourselves to think that way. And if I feel like being positive and thinking of best possible case scenarios, to me, best possible case scenarios, it does all the stuff we don't want to do. You know what I mean? The stuff that we hate doing every day, that we feel like we have to survive. If it's taking care of all that, if it's curing diseases that we can't figure out on our own because it can compute way faster than we can, then we're living longer. You know what I mean? And it figures out all these other things we can't figure out. I would imagine it would come up with a better way to deal with coronavirus than we did. You know what I mean? There's so much good that can come of it. Why we don't focus on that is, I mean, like I said, it has a lot to do with the headlines. I mean, I feel like they want us to be afraid. All I ever hear on the news is bad news. I pretty much don't watch it. Yeah.
Fear and sex sells.
Yes, 100%. And we need to question those fears. Why am I afraid of this? You know what I mean? Is this real? Is this true reality? No, it's not. Who said it's taking your job? I mean, that's not and like you said, the Industrial Revolution, they made all these machines that did away with physical labor. It made work way safer. Like, less people were dying in these physical jobs, you know what I mean? And I have a physical job. I'd rather be physical rock climbing and whitewater rafting and mountain biking and working out with friends and playing volleyball. Free up my time. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And we figure it out as humans, how we finance that. I mean, we're all in this together. Ultimately, we're one race. We're the human race. And I choose to believe that we figure that out, you know what I mean? And we awaken and we become one, like we truly are. We will remember that we're one, or you wake up from this sleep that we're in, whatever you want to call it, this false reality.
And ultimately, like when the Wright brothers created the airplane, everybody was like, man, this is never going to be applicable. Nobody. Then everybody was like, man, when they got better and better, and they're like, man, people are going to die, blah, blah, blah. Now it's the safest way to travel. And we couldn't even imagine getting across the country, across the globe, across anything without it. Like, we've adapted, we've accepted it, and finally came. But let me say this about fear. and I learned this through my studies and things like that. One, fear is the belief in separation from oneness of God. Fear is the polar opposite of confidence, of faith. So they're the exact energy, except energetic opposites. So when you have faith in the Bible, it says, if you have faith of a mustard seed, you can tell the mountain move and it'll move. The mountain in the Bible represents your insane problems. It doesn't represent necessarily a real literal mountain. It means your problems. So if you have confidence in the one source that these mountains and obstacles will move, well, the polar opposite holds true. Fear can create mountains and problems that aren't there. So to have faith is to have absolute praise and worship towards the one source. So to have fear is the total opposite. The devil or Satan is the adversary. So you have fear in the adversary. To have fear is a form of devil worship. So you got to be very careful with those things, because if you come from a point of oneness, I and the Father are one, what is there to fear? Because all things, even AI, is working towards my total good. If you have fears because you're projecting outward, and if you project outward, you are always going to suffer. That's why we keep preaching detachment. If you detach and just step back and let these feelings of fear just flow by you like clouds in the sky, and you don't suffer, then you're able to see the totality that everything works for my good.
And it does. It always does. Yeah, that's perfectly said. Yeah, it is. Fear is the opposite of faith. If you feel fear, recognize that. If you're paying attention to yourself, you recognize you have these feelings of fear, but you got to think about it. You got to, why do I have this? Why do I feel this way? And there's probably some reason, you know what I mean? Because of something that happened in your past, or because some headline you read, or some movie you watched, The Terminator, or iRobot, whatever it was. There's a ton of these movies. Like I haven't begun to see half of them, but I get where these fears come from, and our own imagination. I mean, we can come up, all these movies that we talk about, somebody invented those in their mind. It was a thought someone had. We created these thoughts, you know what I mean? So you can think it, you believe it's possible, you know what I mean? And it only has the power you give it.
But just think about this, Jay. When you worship, when they say worship is a centralization of energy and focus. So if you are focused on fear, guess what you're doing? You're worshiping it.
Wow.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So stop worshiping your fears. Let them go. Let them pass like the clouds in the sky. And you will see that they're not affecting you. The fear is in you.
Yeah. I when fear has been an issue for me my entire life, and I'm sure it's true for everybody. I know when I was a kid, I think I've talked about it on here before, I had tremendous fears. I think it had a lot to do with the churches I grew up in, and the way they taught burning in hell for eternity, which just demons and all these terrible things,
Lake of fire.
like you see in horror movies. And then you hear of things in the news, and yeah, especially as a kid, you develop these fears, and it's natural to have them, you know what I mean? But you can usually figure out where it comes from, you know what I mean? And know that if you come back to the present moment, you find your breath, you know that you're okay, you know what I mean? And all these are just thoughts, which are not you. They're just worst case scenarios that your imagination has created. And the reason I did this was to do just the opposite of that, use my imagination to think, well, what could happen if it does work out for best possible case scenario? And I think that we get back to being free and having our time back and getting time to spend together with friends and family, and to learn new skills and just live, just be.
You and I did a series on the 10 Commandments, and we did a series on the 7 Hermetic Principles. That I've grouped them all together. If anybody's interested in watching them, on the channel. So you can click on the 10 commandments and watch all the videos in a row and the 7. If you understand those principles of the 10 commandments and you understand the principles of the 7 hermetic laws, this is why I'm able to apply these things to these laws so easily, because I've submitted these as truth and I totally believe them because they make sense. And when you're able to see and step back and say, fear is the polarity of this, I'm giving this energy, and that whenever you're able to see it for what it really is, knowledge is power because it takes fear away. If I understand how a car works, I no longer fear it. This is why it's very important to dive into what we're trying to teach, because we want to free you. 1 degree, we mean it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we did a good job of covering this topic. You know what I mean? And I know this is initially when I mentioned it to you, you were a little hesitant about talking about AI. This is not truly about AI. It's more about fear, and it's just one big fear that I notice a lot of people have right now. So I thought it was a good way to talk about fear, and it's relevant right now with my wife, just because of the job that she does. And
hopefully she watches this video and take notes.
Oh, she will. She will. We had a really good conversation, and by the end of our conversation, she said to me, she's like, I never would have thought about it that way, how it could be a good thing. And it's because of what everybody else is saying around you, and it's because of these movies and these news headlines that plant those seeds, man. So we're planting a different seed, and that's what we're doing here, and that's what this channel's about.
Real fast, what did I say in the last video? What the thinker thinks, the prover proves, and you're both the thinker and the prover. You think fear, you're going to prove fear exists.
Yep.
If you think abundance, you're going to prove abundance. You're both. You are the director, the writer, the actor, and the audience.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So decide. What do you want to believe? What are you going to give power to?
What are you going to embody? What we talked about last week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff.
It all ties in, brother.
Yeah. 100%. Again, we are 1 degree. We are trying to move the consciousness of mankind 1 degree so we can all live together in peace, love, harmony, and unity. For my brother Akashic, I am Reedy. Until next time, 1 degree.
1 degree.